is light that's within me. Shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, yeah, inside.
Hello, you're welcome.
Bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world.
Gina, yeah, thanks for joining.
Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside.
Andre, thanks for joining.
Inside, yeah. Inside.
Let's share to our friends. Let's share to as many people as possible. Choco Queen, thanks for joining. NGO, I see you. Adisa Kokola, oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining in. Let's share to as many people as possible. Umba, you're welcome.
That's within me, shine to the whole world.
Juliana, you're welcome.
Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding.
Thank you so much for joining again. Thank you so much. Olaleya, thanks for joining. Baby Nash, you're welcome. Ayomide, you're welcome. Inside. Welcome to Insight today. Oh, no. There's no battle here today, please. Ola Square, thanks for joining.
The promise, the future and life.
Thank you, Craig.
Let the light that's within
You're welcome.
shine to
Plot
the
Sweet, I see you.
whole world.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining. Janita, thanks for joining. Akua, I see you. Thank you, guys. I'm just waiting for you lot to come in, and we're going to kick off soon. So let's share to all our friends. Let them be part of Insight with FunmiRoyal today. Gretel Mensa, you're welcome. I see you. Thank you so much. Help share the live to your friends.
Make you feel alright. Rainbow,
Roxa, you're welcome.
promise the future and life.
Yeah.
Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love.
Thank you for joining. Rita, I see you. Tommy Jarvis, you're welcome. So I'm going to kick it off in another minute. I see you, Jazz. Thanks for joining. Mama Okweyemi, I see you. Oh, wow. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Lee 51, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Christy Abiodun, you're welcome. Yeah, we're going to kick off in a minute. Just waiting for everyone to join in. Melise, thanks for joining. I wouldn't even know how to pronounce this one. Is it in Arabic? I don't know. Petri, thanks for joining. Yeah, let's share the live, please. Let's share the live to invite more friends. Spiritual Elements 22, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm just encouraging us so we can kick off soon. Sokna, I see you. So guys, you're welcome to Inside with FunmiRoyal this beautiful Thursday evening. I want to believe it's evening where you are, and if it's not, if it's morning, good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, good day. User 817, I see you. You guys, honestly, it's amazing. Every week in, week out, you're always there. You're always there. I really, really, really appreciate that. I see you, Jamels. Thanks for joining in. So I just want to encourage you, please share this live, invite more people to be part of our talk today. And you know, it's insight. You might just get one or two insight that will make life even more better. And that's just the whole idea, to make life better, how we can cope with life's, issues, challenges. And today I usually would focus on marriage and relationships. Kwakuora. I want to believe that's the word. Thanks for joining, Donnie. I see you. Sajay Law, how are you? Where have you been? Oluwato Singh, you're welcome. Thank you all, guys. Thank you so much. Let's share to all our friends. Suware, I see you. User JK, I see you. Thanks for joining. Oh, thank you, Sir J Law. Thank you so much. I celebrate you too. God bless you too. Thank you so much. Let's share to as many people as possible. And guys, it's not too late to start liking the live. Really, as long as you're here, just give your sister some support. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sir J. I hope your day has been good today. So I'm going to be kicking off because a bit of a talk today. And it's very interesting, when you talk about marriage and relationships, my goodness, we can never outtalk ourselves. You're welcome. I see you. Thank you so much. Let's like the live so other people can, hear about it and be part of it. So let's keep it up, please. Thank you all so much. Mavis, you're welcome. Mavis Lizzie, I see you. Thank you so much. So today, my topic today is marriage and counseling. Marriage and counseling. It's very interesting in the sense that you have this thing in different cultures about marriage and counseling. So I really would love to hear from you. So the moment I finish the talk today, I'd like you to send an invite. Let's hear from you. If you believe in marriage counseling, if you've ever experienced it before, has it worked for you? Is it a taboo in your culture? All of those things, I want us to talk about it. And it's always good, especially for those in the FY page, to, kind of reflect, like I would say, let's reflect about these things, and they say two heads are better than one. So this is just one here. So I need your head soon. So I'll be bringing us up, or you can send an invite. Let's hear from you. What's your take about this topic? And remember, we're here to learn. We keep it simple and real here. And please, we want to be mindful when people are giving their submission or their opinion about the topics. Let's just hear them out, because we all have different backgrounds. We're coming from different backgrounds, different life experiences. Your experience will be different from mine. So definitely, we may not see eye to eye on certain things. People speak from their own personal experience, and it's always different to yours. So we need to learn to tolerate and accommodate everyone as they make their own suggestions. Thank you, Sir Jade Law, for liking the live. I really appreciate that. So like I said, today I'll be talking about marriage and counseling. And the truth is, the role of marriage counseling is that it helps in building lasting relationships. So counseling helps in nurturing stronger bonds between a husband and wife, a mature man and a mature woman. In previous weeks, we've said marriage is not for boys and girls. It's a serious matter and it has to be held in utmost importance. So as a way of introduction, marriage is a sacred union between two individuals, but it's not without its own challenges. So Today we'll be looking into the importance of marriage counseling in fostering healthier and fulfilling relationships, because that's the whole idea. Why would we go all out? We want to make sure this marriage is working. We want to make sure that we're doing what is necessary. And I've always said God created marriage, and everything God created is good. Why is it that it seems like marriages have so much challenges, chaotic, upside down, and all of those things? Yeah, let's self-reflect. You find out that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's why there's a whole lot of chaos. And when chaos is left unhandled properly, of course we know the worst that would happen is divorce. We're not talking about DVs or DAs here, so we're just mindful. Sometimes people can't see eye to eye and they just file in for divorce and what have you. But it's not God's intention that we do that. We're meant to be together till Christ will come, if I can put it that way, or till death will do us part. That's the only condition given, at least to the best of my knowledge, that if a spouse dies, the other spouse is free to remarry, which God has no grudge against that. But when we, separate, divorce, you go separate ways, eventually you want to love again and all that, but there's no guarantee that this new person, it might just work out as well. So why not stay in that one marriage and try? Please, maybe I should beg, let's try to make it work. Okay. So, topic today, marriage counseling. And marriage counseling is also known as couples therapy or relationship counseling, whichever way you want to call it. Is a form of psychotherapy designed to help couples address and resolve issues within that relationship, that marriage relationship. One man, one wife. One husband, one wife. That's what I'm talking about here. And like I say, when I talk about marriages and relationships, I'm talking from a faith-based perspective. I'm a Christian, and this is what I know, and that's why I'm here on that capacity. But I always love to share from other people's culture, beliefs, or what have you. It's always good to rub minds, as long as we are aiming at the same goal at the end of the day. So, it helps couples, to resolve their issues within their relationship. It involves meeting a trained therapist or counselor who specializes in working with couples to improve communication, resolve conflicts, strengthen their bond, like I said. So there's a role the counselor is going to play in your relationship. They're not there to gossip with you. They're not there to to point fingers as such, but they're there to help you, guide you, open your eyes to see what maybe either of you is doing wrongly, so you can make amends, so that that relationship can work out. So during marriage counseling sessions, in case you haven't even thought about it before, or you're having issues, your marriage is going through this rocky patch, and you're feeling, what can you do? What can you do to help mend things? Maybe that's why God has sent me to you today. Sultan, I see you. Ozzy Solatan. Thank you so much for joining. So this is what I'm talking about today, marriage counseling. So please consider it. I would say consider it. I mean, what is there to lose? Newton, you're welcome. So they're there to help couples explore opportunities in their relationship, to help them know the dynamics, to help them identify areas of concern or conflict, and also learn strategies to improve that relationship to both their satisfaction. And that is the role of a therapist. The therapist facilitates discussions, maybe some hard, tough discussions, you guys always fighting when you decide to go there, So when you have a counselor in the room, everybody can air their views or whatever it is amicably, with the counselor being like a sort of mediator, if I may say. They help you, they provide guidance for you, and they offer tools and techniques to help you guys cope, to help us cope and develop a healthier communication pattern, and also to help us navigate challenges more effectively. more effectively, because that's the only way we can grow, we can learn, and we can move on better into a wonderful marriage relationship. So, marriage counseling may address a wider range of issues, including communication problems, conflict resolution, infidelity, intimacy issues, financial stress, parenting disagreements. Trust me, when that marriage union keeps growing, of course children will come in at some point if you decide to have children. And also a marriage counselor can help you navigate life's transitions, especially maybe for couples who is just been husband and wife for so many years, and now there's a child, and it seems like they're not getting a hang of things. There's so much rift now that there's a child, and they don't know how to navigate into this new transition of parenthood. So also a counselor can help you navigate into that new life. So the goal of a counselor is to help couples gain insight into their relationship dynamics, is to help them build stronger emotional connections and develop skills to create a more fulfilling and satisfying partnership. Grace too, thanks for joining. So, sessions typically involve both partners participating together, although sometimes individual sessions may be recommended in some cases. Say, for example, the counselor will see the husband separately or will see the wife separately, especially when it's a situation that is so intense. So maybe both of them together at that point in that session, they're not getting anywhere. So the counselor might decide to, see them individually. It's all to help them, sort out whatever it is going on in that relationship. So oftentimes counselors may do this. So again, the frequency and duration of counseling sessions, it varies depending on the unique needs and circumstances of each couple. So some might not be too intense. It might just be the start of something, and before it festers into what they can't handle, they might just decide to go for counseling so that they can, get a start on it, and they don't allow it to come and break their home. Christina, thanks for joining. Please, let's share the live. Let's share it to all our friends. Share it to as many people as possible. Let them be part of Insight today. So overall, marriage counseling provides a supportive and non-judgmental environment for couples to explore their relationship, to walk through their challenges, and also cultivate a deeper understanding and appreciation for each other. Sometimes couples, they grow on each other. They sometimes take things for granted. And I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes they take each other for granted. Akua Jackie, I see you. No fair, no case. Thank you so much for joining. So this is the role. This is what a counselor would help you identify and deal with. It can be a valuable resource for couples seeking to improve their relationship and build a stronger foundation for a long-term happiness and fulfillment. So it's important, like I said, some cultures, maybe they frown at, going to see a counselor. They feel you're both mature adults, deal with your stuff, But sometimes we all know that when one spouse is angry or both of them are angry, who's going to be the soft-hearted one to put some sense into them? And sometimes when people don't let go of that negative energy, emotion, feelings, and what have you, there is no way they're going to listen to one another. So sometimes it might just be good. I'm not saying all the time, but please, if you need a marriage counselor, there's nothing to be shy about. There's nothing to shy away from. Please feel free. Agree with your spouse, and sometimes the spouse, they don't even want to hear it. But if you feel you need it, you can start off. And maybe if your spouse sees some changes in you, they might decide to come along with you. So you never can tell. You can't rub off on your spouse. So marriage counseling, we need to understand the need for marriage counseling. We need to understand that. What is the need for marriage counseling? Acknowledging challenges, because sometimes you shy away from your challenges. You don't want to face it. Rather, you face work. you face your career, you ignore that, and when you come home, it's like there's so much coldness in the air. It's like nobody wants to talk about it, and the issue is not going away. So we need to marriage counseling can help us acknowledge those challenges, at least as a third party who would help us, face the issue properly. So every marriage faces hurdles, and that's the truth. I've been in it for 25 odd years, and trust me, hurdles come as you're jumping through one, another one is coming. So what do we have to do? Sometimes you just had it, and maybe that counselor, marriage counselor, might just be the one to help you. Why so funny? You're welcome. Why so funny? 3. Thanks for joining. Marriage counseling provides a safe space to address these challenges constructively. So it's not that you're just going to go there and bicker and shout at each other. There's a professional there that would help you, put things constructively so that you can get a headway, because otherwise the purpose will be defeated. Number 1, spiritual shop. You're welcome. Thank you guys for joining. Adejoke, I see you. Another thing why we may need marriage counseling for communication enhancement. Like I said, you guys probably have been living together for years and years and would take each other for granted. And communication is becoming stressful. It's like once upon a time I used to talk freely with my spouse, and now it's like they don't understand me. It's like we're speaking different language. Men from Mars, women from Venus or Pluto or whatever it is. Grace, you're welcome. And over time it gets so much that anger start coming in, resentment may start coming in. So a marriage counselor can help you to kind of communicate effectively so that you build the cornerstone of your marriage in a successful way. There is, no matter how much you love each other, no matter how much you're there for one another, at some point you would have a difference of opinion, difference of values, principles, and it doesn't mean they love you less, but you just have to be accommodative to one another. So it's not about, oh, this is my way or the highway kind of a thing. No, we need to learn, because as you're living together over the years, you're going to grow. You're growing as an individual, you're growing as a couple, and the time might come one of your spouse, you've just so grown and you're not so mature, and certain things you're not doing again, and your spouse is wondering, this person has changed, and they can't understand why you have changed. And all of those kind of things, the counselor can help you see them constructively. So effective communication is a cornerstone of a successful marriage. It has to be effective, not just communication, because otherwise everybody will open their mouth to say anything at any time and they don't care. No. Counseling helps couples to learn active listening skills. Some couple, maybe the wife or the husband, they just want, the moment you finish, they're ready to pound on you. They're not listening to what you have just said. Or they've, what's the word? They hear you, but they're not listening. Some would listen or not hear. There's some twist to that. Or they hear you, but they're not listening. And that's why when they respond to you, it's like they're speaking in Greek. So a counselor can help you cultivate listening skills, active listening skills, and also help you express your need appropriately such that your partner can understand. And also a counselor can help you resolve conflicts peacefully, because that's the whole idea, to help that marriage in that time of conflict so it doesn't lead to separation or divorce or what have you. So another thing is why we may need counseling is strengthening emotional connection. Over time, couples may drift apart emotionally, and this happens, I've heard it many times, it's happened to me even sometimes, and they drift apart emotionally. Further, that they're not connecting emotionally like they used to back in the early days when the butterflies are still there, when it's like, oh, I'm missing you, you're missing me, and all of that. So counseling offers techniques to reconnect emotionally, fostering intimacy and trust. Kuje, thanks for joining. I see you. Say gay 422, you're welcome. So there's some need for counseling, and I hope you're seeing this, because at the end of the day, it's on us to make sure this marriage works. We have to do what we ought to do, the right thing to do, so it can work, it can last for forever, if I may put it that way. Luzinet, thanks for joining. A marriage counselor or counseling would also help you resolve conflicts. Like I said, conflict is inevitable in every relationship. Any relationship, husband and wife, colleague to colleague, pair to pair, friend to friend, twins, even whatever that relationship is, there is just bound to be some sort of conflict. But how it's managed, can make or break a marriage. If it's not managed adequately, if it's not married effectively, it can break a marriage. I've heard of cases where people or couples divorce, and at the end of the day, they're asking, why did you guys, decide to do this? They're like, irreconcilable differences. They will not mention DV, they will not mention DA, they'll say irreconcilable differences. And I'm like, seriously? Is that the best you can come up with? Conflicts that are left unresolved can make or break your marriage. Counseling equips couples with conflict resolution strategies and promoting healthier interactions. Like I said, Bumi, I see you. Thanks for joining. There will be rifts every now and then. There will be chaos every now and then. But last week I said, do not fight each other, fight the battle together. So instead of fighting one another, because that's the plan of the devil anyways, for you not to survive in that marriage, but you have to beat yourself to it, dare yourself to it, to say, come what may, this marriage is going to last. Maybe if you're just young in your marriage till Christ will come, I don't know when that is, but you have to be determined, you have to be committed, to making sure that this marriage works. So it takes two to tango. Mariana, thanks for joining. So in case you're wondering, what is the role? I've said it partly, but I just needed us to understand the need for a counselor. So when you go to see a marriage counselor, what are their roles? What are they meant to be doing? In case you're considering it and you're still not sure, if you're on the FYP page listening in, you're still thinking, maybe your marriage, like I said, is going through the rocky patch, and you're thinking, should you not? Or maybe your culture frowns at it, or whatever it is. But I'm just kind of educating us here so we know the reasons why we can. And also you're wondering, okay, if I go to see the counselor, because sometimes we wonder in our head, what are they going to do exactly? Because this marriage is just gone down, and all of that, or save it for the therapy session. So a counselor, these are the roles, at least some of the roles of a counselor when you see a marriage counselor. Neutral mediator. They're not for the husband, they're not for the wife, they're for both of you. So if you're thinking, if I go there now and we see a male counselor, he's just going to support my husband, why am I? It's like they'll be ganging up on me. You started all these negative assumptions in your mind, and it's not always the case. Comfort, you're welcome. Fulabi, thanks for joining. Or if you say, oh my goodness, my wife persuaded me to come for this therapy session, and now the counselor is a woman, they will gang up on me now. These women, when they're too many, they form alliance. Stop holding negativity. Those are negative assumptions, and they're not even true. That's why you need to be mindful. Go to a professional, whether a man, a therapist, or a woman, a marriage counselor. Any one of them, that is their job. They're not there to support or to form alliance with your spouse. They're there to help the two of you. So they're a neutral mediator, because they don't even know you to start with. So why would they just start forming alliance with you? I mean, think about it. So a marriage counselor serves as a neutral third party, facilitating open dialogue and guiding couples towards resolution without taking sides. That is the ethical binding them. It's their job. That is their role. That is what they're meant to do. They're not meant to form alliance with the husband or the wife, or to fight some. No, they're meant to give unconditional positive regard, what we call UPR, to every client that comes their way. So they're not there to judge you. They're not there to castigate you. They're not there to form alliance with your spouse. They're there to help the two of you. Queen, I see you. Baby Gold, welcome. So that's their take, the neutral mediator. So look at it that way, and I hope you're getting insight. A counselor is meant to provide tools and techniques for you, for both of you. Counselors offer practical tools and techniques tailored to each couple's unique needs, because every couple that walk through that door to receiving counseling, they have different issues they're coming in with. Some could be financial, some it could even be DVDAs. I'm telling you, some could be drug abuse. It could be all sorts. So they are equipped. Whatever you're bringing on, that is the issue. They are well equipped to help you, to empower you, to overcome that challenge and also strengthen your bond. You have a better understanding of your spouse again, because once upon a time you guys were on top of things, your challenge, and also strengthen your bond. You have a better understanding of your spouse again, because once upon a time you guys were on top of things, your feelings, your emotions, what's going on for you, because that's the only way they can help you, that can best help you. There's no point going there and not wanting to talk, or you're hiding things away, and then when you now get home, you now face your husband, and you know that space at home cannot contain that effectively. So that is the role of a counselor. A counselor is there to offer perspective. Counselors bring fresh perspective to marital issues. They're helping couples to gain insight into the dynamics and also identify areas for growth. No man knows it all. I'm not perfect. My husband is not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Even if you have your PhD or whatever, doesn't make you perfect in that relationship. So sometimes it might need work, and you just have to put in what it takes so that you also can enjoy it. A marriage counselor will create a safe environment for both of you. So the session is a safe space, judgment-free space where couples can express themselves honestly and walk through sensitive topics without fear of criticism. Everything, bring it on board. That's their job. That's why they're there, to help you. And also they're there supporting individual growth. If they see that, okay, they will see, they have insight, foresight, prosight, hindsight, all of the sides you can think about, that's their job. So they can help beyond addressing marital issues, counselors support individual growth. Maybe the husband is gone up there and the wife is just here, and that's why they're not together, and the counselor might help the wife to identify certain things that can help push her up, to meet with the husband where he is at. So that's their job. They help each partner develop self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and personal resilience. And it's always the case. Sometimes the spouse might not be able to handle things. Maybe they're so moving up fast in the world, in their career and things, and their spouse is just down there, and they just feel we're not on the same level anymore. Rather than resentment or treating your spouse in a very negative way, a counselor might help you identify this, and your spouse might be able to find certain things to do that would help them, come up to your level as well, and also you come down to their level so that you can meet again on the same page. That is the role of a counselor. So certainly, there are keys and benefits to marriage counseling. Here, I like to balance things. I'll tell you the advantages of marriage counseling that I know, and also I'll tell us some of the disadvantages. But it's now left for you to decide if the advantage far outweighs the disadvantages. So the choice is yours. So I'll move on swiftly. So what are the key benefits of marriage counseling? It helps improve communication, like I said. Counseling provides couples with tools and techniques to communicate effectively. And this is what you get from the counseling session. You don't know it all. I don't know it all. They might be able to help us express our needs, and listen empathetically to one another without judging, without anger, without all of those things that come with it. Another advantage is conflict resolution skills. If you go for marriage counseling, couples learned how to navigate conflicts constructively, meaning conflicts will come, but how do you navigate it? Is it negatively, judgmentally, and all of those? So it helps you find mutual satisfaction or satisfactory solutions, and also avoiding destructive patterns of communication. Because when your spouse is saying something you don't understand, what comes out? It's like you're even cursing them, and then all they hear is you cursing me. I said this, you said that, and they go on, and you can imagine it's not going to end well. So, advantage is you learn resolution skills. So when you know that there's a conflict and it's just lingering on, you try to remember, what did the counselor say we should do when we're faced with such a challenge. So you learn to communicate constructively, so you don't destroy your marriage. And another advantage is strengthens emotional connection. Counseling helps couples to connect emotionally, fosters intimacy, empathy, trust within that relationship. Spongy, thanks for joining. Again, it enhances problem solving abilities, because when you keep going to therapy, they help you. Whatever challenge you bring on, there has to be a better way of handling things. So couples, they gain insight into that relationship's dynamics and also develop problem solving skills to address any challenge that will come their way. And of course, this will help them overcome whatever the obstacle is, and that's just the truth. Prevention of future issues. Like I said, every time, all the time, challenges, all sorts of as you're crossing one hurdle, another one is coming. So it's like, do we ever get a break? Yes, you can plan your break. Actually, Charlie, I see you. So it helps you to prevent future issues, because when you see the signs coming, you guys look at each other. We've been there before. We tackled it this way constructively. Let's be prepared, to do the same with this. Let it not tear us apart. Again, advantage of marriage counseling: increased self-awareness. I tell you, old habits die hard. Yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is, do you even identify these old habits your spouse is complaining about? Because it's become part of you. It's a way of life. You don't even see anything wrong in it. Sarah, I see you. And that way, you don't even see anything wrong in anything you're doing. So an advantage of going for marriage counseling, it will help you to be self-aware about certain things maybe your spouse has been complaining about for years and years and years. So this would help you to engage in self-reflection and also personal growth. It will empower you as an individual to understand yourself better. Okay, so sometimes people are in self-denial, and the only way forward is when you face that situation, face it, become more attuned to your partner's needs. It's like, for the last donkey years, my partner has always been complaining about the same thing over and over and over again. And you're saying that out loud, and you still don't feel the need to actually listen. Okay, they've been saying this for the past how many years? What is it that I'm doing that makes them to keep saying this? You have to self-reflect, because obviously they're not happy about it. If it's something they're happy about, of course they would tell you they're happy, and life, is happy altogether. So when a spouse is addressing certain things, or when husband and wife are addressing certain things in each other for so long, it's not the time to start being defensive or what have you. You need to face it, because this thing is not making them happy. And you have to address it, because you're the cause of whatever it is, and the only way is self-awareness. When you're aware that you're doing this thing, then you can now decide to make a change. Another thing, advantage, is support during transition. Like I said, some couples have been just the two of them for so long, and now they're expecting their first child. It's a baby boy or baby girl, or twins or triplets. It would change the dynamic of that relationship. And if they're not mentally ready, especially to be a parent, because they've been enjoying couples life for so long, the transition, if it's not properly understood, might be a sort of issue. Babies crying middle of the night. Some believe that it's just the woman's place to go and attend to that baby, because the husband is going to work in the morning. And some husband feel, she's tired, she's been busy with this baby all day, it's on me to go and help. That is if they think to do that. But over time, the woman might be so tired, she feels, because he's carrying that responsibility, she doesn't want to put the baby's responsibility on the man. It takes two to build that nation. It takes two to build that home. We need to help one another. We need to what's the word? We need to be tolerant. We need to be accommodative. You will sacrifice your sleeps, your everything. You have to sacrifice. Jide, thanks for coming. I see you there. If you're just joining, I'm talking about marriage counseling, and I'm telling us the advantages. And like I said, I'm going to tell us the disadvantages as well. So another advantage is, like I said, support during transition. Whatever life's transition you're faced with, marriage counseling provides support and guidance to help the couples navigate these challenges together. Together we stand, divided we fall. That's the saying. And lastly, that I'll mention is renewed commitment. So when you go for counseling, because sometimes it's like see finish, as my people will say, you don't see me finish, oh. So we take each other for granted. When we go there, to counseling, they might just help us remind ourselves of the vows we took, how we said, to love and to hold. Purple Diva, thanks so much for joining. I see you. To love, to hold, to cherish, and all of those things. Sometimes we do forget because of issues of life's challenges and what have you. So we need someone to help us go back there again, to reignite that spark, renew that commitment between partners, reminding us of the reasons we fell in love, and also to encourage us to invest in that relationship again. Look, issues would happen that would make you even doubt if you ever knew your spouse. May we not find ourselves there, because some people, the shock of what their spouse has done to them, they are like, there is no way we can reconcile. There's no coming back from this. And that's it, they're done. But I think weeks back we've talked about forgiveness. We have to learn to forgive one another. So the role of the counselor is to help us to see the need to forgive so we can move on. But sometimes forgiving, it could be challenging to some set of people. They're still in shock. They can't believe their spouse had done this, and now here's somebody telling them to forgive, and so it could be hard. It's a process, and that's why the counselor will not force you to do what you don't want to do or what you're not ready to do. So overall, marriage counseling offers couples the opportunity to strengthen their bond, deepen their connection, and build a resilient foundation for a fulfilling and lasting partnership. I'll say that again, for a fulfilling and lasting partnership. And all of these skills you take out of counseling, you can't throw them away, because you still need them in the future. A time will come you will stop counseling, and you have to face life on your own. So all the things you learn, all the techniques, all the tools you learn, you have to always hold that dear to your heart, because you might just need it for tomorrow's challenge. Tinach, thanks for joining. Let's share the live. I'm sure people are there. I can't see anyone tapping at the moment. Let's just tap. Let's tap the screen. So, like I said, I love to balance things. Maybe because I was born in October, I don't know. But I just feel it's fair. I can't tell you all the good side to counseling and not tell you the other side as well. And like I said, I'll tell you the disadvantages, but it's now left for you to weigh things out. Wherever you're at in your marriage, do you think, you know what? I've heard for me, but I think we need that counseling, because we're not helping each other. And I'm afraid where we're heading to is not looking good. So please, even if your culture frowns at it, some culture have their cultural counselors. So there's always a way out, I'm telling you. Abena, thanks for joining. I see you. So while marriage counseling offers numerous benefits, it is essential to acknowledge that there can be some potential disadvantages or challenges. So this is where the balance comes in. And at the end of the day, maybe are they disadvantages? At the end of the day, let's just look at it insightfully, So time and commitment. If you go for marriage counseling, it will take your time. It will require commitment. So marriage counseling requires a significant time commitment from both of you. Okay? including attending regular sessions and completing homework assignments, because the counselor will give you some things you have to practice at home or do at home, and you have to be committed to that. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. So this can be challenging for couples with busy schedules and conflicting priorities. Some might say, oh, please, what are you saying to do this? I don't have time for that. No, you need to have the time and commitment. So it will take your time. So I don't know if you want to see that as a disadvantage or an advantage. I don't know truly if it's a disadvantage, but it will require time and commitment to it. I've seen the second one. That's why I'm mentioning money. So a disadvantage to marriage counseling is financial cost. It's not free. So that's why sometimes as a Christian in church, if you go for counseling in church, there's only so much time the pastor or whoever would allocate to you, because that is pastoral care, or how would I put it? But then there's only so much the pastor can do as well. That's why you need a professional. This is what they do solely. So it doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Muslim, whatever your faith is, that is their profession. As long as you're husband and wife, that is what they do. So in order to take advantage of that, it will cost you money. Both you and your husband might need to put in money towards those sessions. And sometimes you cannot determine from the start, maybe you need 10 sessions or you need 5 sessions, or how many sessions you need. It would cost money. So think about it. Please, honey, please sit down. I don't have money for therapy, so sit down. Let us talk about this thing right now the best way you can. So another disadvantage is emotional vulnerability. You're not vulnerable with your spouse, and you now want to go to a third party and be vulnerable. So that might be some sort of disadvantage, because it explores, marriage counseling will help you explore sensitive topics and emotion. So this is not you talking to your husband now. There's somebody else in the room who would hear all of this in order to help you address it. So this, some people might say as a disadvantage. Why would I go and air my dirty linen in public, or all those talks we talk, but then there are issues on ground we're not dealing with. Papa Peel, thanks for joining. So if you look at it as a disadvantage, I don't know. So opening up about personal struggles and relationship issues may feel daunting and intimidating. You can barely tell your husband or your wife how you're feeling, and now you have to say it in the presence of a third party. So you have to consider. So you best sit each other down in your living room or in your room and talk about these things. Otherwise, you will have to go and air your dirty linen in public, so to say, though it's a private session. And again, another disadvantage is reluctance or resistance. Maybe one or both parties may be hesitant, or they will resist the idea of counseling. They're like, I'm a grown man. What do you mean? I'll go and sit down in front of somebody and be telling them my life story. So that's a disadvantage. The purpose for counseling is defeated if it's only one party that is, open to the idea. Spanky, you're welcome. Temiti, I see you. So this will lead to more challenges, meaning they will not engage fully. Or maybe one of the spouse is reluctant, and they go for this session with you today. Next week, they're not ready to go with you. So it's going to be a lot of chaos, really. So maybe that's an advantage to it. So both parties must be ready, not resisting. They just have to go through it. It's hard, but at the end of the day, look at what you're going to get out of it. They're going to help you build that relationship. Another disadvantage is potential for miscommunication. I've heard one of my managers share that she doesn't want to do couples therapy because sometimes the things that go on in there, I don't know whether this one was for fun or was a real life event, that the husband and wife came in together in one car. They sat down, they started talking, and then miscommunication, they just started. And then the husband had the car keys. He just stood up and threw the car keys at the wife and just walked out and slammed the door. And I'm like, oh my God, that happened. Like, yeah, a lot happened in there. So maybe disadvantage, and the counselor, I mean, is out of their hands. There's nothing they can do. Even if they try to call the man, I bet at that time he's not even going to pick up his phone, let alone come back into the room. So in some cases, miscommunication or misunderstandings between couples and counselor may occur. Maybe the counselor is trying to help the man, for example, see sense in whatever the spouse is saying, and the man is so adamant, and then you see the counselor and the man at each other, kind of a thing. It shouldn't be, so your spouse might not just be ready. That's another disadvantage for going into it. But like I said, is it really a disadvantage? Because we're not doing what we ought to do. That's why it may appear that way. Another disadvantage of marriage counseling: no guarantee of success. Trust me, some people have spent years and years in therapy, and at the end of the day, they still went their separate ways. So it's not always guaranteed. So while marriage counseling can be highly effective for so many couples, there is no guarantee of success. Some relationship may not improve despite counseling efforts, and that's the truth. It will lead to feelings of disappointment and disillusionment, like, and that's just the reality as well. So I need to put that out there. The fact that you go for marriage counseling for years and years and years, things may just still be beyond each of your control, that at the end of the day, the way out is, everyone go their separate ways for peace to reign. You never can tell. So unresolved issues in some cases, underlying issues or conflicts may remain unresolved. The therapist is not that they're not good, but it's just that maybe one party is just hell bent in their ways, set in their ways. No shaking. Nothing you say will move them. They just don't want that thing to be resolved, and it's affecting that relationship. There's only so much the counselor can do. There's only so much the other spouse can do. So this will lead to ongoing challenges, just ongoing dissatisfaction in that relationship. And at the end of the day, you look at each other, we've wasted money coming here. It's like, you're not even allowing the counselor to help us, and they go back home even with more issues. So that could be a disadvantage as well. So one final one that I want to say, and this one I say with all caution, for those out there who may be needing marriage counseling, you need to be careful, because you have some experienced counselors who, there is no issue you will bring to them, they will just know how to help you solve it. And you see that when you practice that at home with your spouse, you find out that, oh my God, we should do this often, or oh my God, that counselor really know their stuff, kind of a thing. So dependency on counselor. Couples may become overly reliant on the counselor to solve their problems, rather than taking ownership of their relationship and actively working together to implement positive changes. Any little thing, they're calling the counselor. Any little thing, calling the counselor. Sometimes they can't even iron things out between themselves. They're like, I'm going to call the therapist. I'm going to let them know you're doing this, you're doing that. It's like they will tell you what to do all the time. No, that's an abuse. That's becoming an abuse even. So a counselor might be good at their job, but they're not your every second go-to. You need to learn, build resilience for yourself, for both of you. So it could be either way. Maybe the husband is now relying so much on the counselor, or is the wife that's relying so much they can't even think until they speak to their therapist. No, that's a disadvantage from the couple side, I must say. User 2922, I see you. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Please, let's share the live to people. Let's share. Thank you so much, manager. Thank you. So time is fast spent. I hope I've been able to help you see reason why marriage counseling is good. And if you want to look at it, some disadvantages as well, but which outweighs what? That would help you to decide, especially when you are having issues at the moment and it seems it's lingering on for so long, there is no headway positively and all of that. Sandy, thanks for joining. So it is essential for couples to weigh these potential disadvantages against the benefits of marriage counseling and make an informed decision. And that's why I'm here, to give you that information as you're thinking, should you go for it? Should you not go for it? Will your spouse be open to it? Or even if it's your spouse listening with you, please decide what you want to do, okay? But make an informed decision about whether it's the right choice for your relationship or not. Open communication, realistic expectations, and a willingness to actively engage in counseling process can help mitigate some of these challenges and also help maximize the potential for positive outcome. It takes two. If one party is willing to go for counseling and the other party is not willing to go, there will be chaos, still, because it's not, one person is not married to themselves. They have this partner, and it's a joint venture. You have to, there's some things individuals can do, but when it comes to counseling, you both need to be there to commit to it, to participate in it. Marriage counseling offers couples a structured and supportive environment to address these issues of life. It helps them develop effective communication skills and also helps them to cultivate a deeper understanding and, above all, appreciation for each other. Ultimately, this will lead to greater relationship satisfaction and long term fulfillment in that marriage relationship. That is where my talk ends for now. Please, marriage counseling, that is the topic for today. And I've talked about what it is, and I've talked about the role of the counselor, what they will do. Yime, I see you. Thanks for joining. And it's that time I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. What's your take on it? Do you believe in marriage counseling? Is marriage counseling a taboo in your culture? I want to hear from you. And have you ever tried professional marriage counseling? Did it work out? Did it not work out? I really want to hear from us. Let's rub minds together. Because if you share your especially positive experience about these things, somebody out there who's needing that help might just make up their mind and decide to go for therapy, or they can convince their partner to come along so they can help build that relationship to their satisfaction. Like I said, each day comes with its challenges. We have individual challenges, we have couples facing the same challenges together, and you're meant to face it together and not face each other. And that's why, there's so much rift. One party always wanting to have their way. They're speaking, one is, they're both speaking English, but it sounds like one is speaking Japanese and the other is speaking Indian kind of a thing. And they're not hearing each other. What has happened? Something has broken. It needs fixing. And it has to be fixed effectively so that you can move on from there. There are seasons and times it will come in marriages, and we need to know how to navigate this so we can still keep enjoying that marriage relationship. So if you're out there, you want to share with us today, I really love to hear from you. And shortly I'll bring my puzzle from last week. Nobody got it. Nobody got the puzzle. I'll be telling us in a few minutes. The puzzle from last week, nobody got it. So today, maybe somebody might just be able to get it. So let's see who is today. Send an invite. Send an invite. Let's talk about this today. Do you believe in marriage counseling? Has it worked for you? Is marriage counseling even a taboo in your culture? I want to know. I want to know. Hi, Purple Diva. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, FunmiRoyal, my dear sister?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you so much. I miss you.
Here I
I
am.
hope you're okay from the last message.
Yeah, I am.
All right. Thank God for that. You're welcome. What time is it there now?
Mm, 2 minutes to 1 a.m.
And you're still up. Oh my God. I feel so blessed right now. Oh my goodness. Don't worry. No matter how many hours you sleep, it will be sweet and sound. In Jesus, thank you so much for the love and support. I really, really appreciate you. So I don't know if you've been listening to my talk tonight about marriage counseling. And these are my questions to people out there. Do they believe in marriage counseling, or is it a taboo in their culture? And also, if you've tried it before, how was it? Did it work for you or did it not? Johnny Babes, I see you. So you're the one here now. I don't know if you have anything to chip in or any submissions at all.
Yeah, I believe in marriage counseling.
Okay.
Much as people say, um, if the two of you cannot agree, even a counselor cannot make you agree, I still believe there's a role and a marriage counselor can play
Hmm.
and enable these two the couple enable the couple to change their mind
Yeah.
from the decision that they might have taken without going through the marriage counselor. Because there are things we do assuming we know,
Yeah.
the things we do without knowing we are the ones on the wrong. So when you get a counselor who will open your eyes and make you realize where you've been going wrong and where the other guy has also been going wrong, that's when you can accept that this they really do help,
That's
because
true.
no one is perfect.
No.
Yeah, no one is perfect. Sometimes we just need a third party to come in and make us understand our wrongs, our do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
So personally, I wouldn't say that I'm not in supportive of a marriage counselor, because I've seen marriage counselors save many marriages.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I've seen those who never went through their marriage, the through marriage counselors divorce.
That's true as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So talking to going through a marriage counselor is very important.
Mm,
Is very important, because much as they'll help you solve your problems, but at least there's something you'll also learn
mm,
to take with you for going forward, to take with you going forward. It won't just be centered on the issue at hand, but at least as you solve the issue at hand, you'll also be learning what is required of you going forward.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
So I support, and those who say it's a taboo, I think
So in your culture, do people talk about it, or is it a taboo, or how is it?
no, in my culture, it's not a taboo,
Oh, okay.
because we believe in, we really, really believe, okay, much as people don't go through marriage counselors, but they go through family members who counsels them, because
Okay.
we'll find that before people break up, their family members have to come in to try to salvage the marriage.
Mhm.
But if it's a marriage that was done in church, we have customary marriage and Christian marriage. If it's a marriage that was done in church, the pastor will also come in to try to talk to them before they throw in the towel. So if they can go to the pastor, or if they can allow family members to come and talk to them, then it means if they were offered that opportunity to speak to a marriage counselor, they would have accepted. So some don't just go through a marriage counselor because maybe if they don't want to pay, or because maybe the family members come in first when
Okay.
the issue arises.
Mm, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Because one of the things you find out that, especially for men, they're not one for talking about their feelings, emotions, and things like that. And they are part of that marriage relationship, and things are happening, and it has to be talked about. Otherwise, it might not just get resolved. So even if it's whether their pastor intervening, whether it's their family members, they would have to ask questions. What has led to you getting to this space? And they would have to speak. So it has nothing to do with the gender, whether you're a man or a woman. You are both in that relationship, and if there's problem beyond your control, both of you might just need somebody to mediate. Otherwise, if things are left for so long, that's why you hear about divorces, everywhere. It's just unfortunate, but I mean, there's not a thing. As long as it's not DV, as long as it's not DVDA, I think they should be able to talk about things. We wrong each other, even spouses. There's no how you will not wrong each other. But like we say, you should be ready to forgive even before they wronged you, because otherwise you keep holding offense. Offense, will turn to anger, anger to bitterness, and you don't want to talk about it. You just shut down, and the man is thinking you've forgiven them, but yet you're cold and all of that. So all sorts. So sometimes you might just need help. You might need a counselor to help you navigate that, because it could be shocking when your loved one hurts you so badly. That shock alone. Some people don't recover from it. Some, it will take a very long time to recover from it. But in order for you to navigate that experience effectively, you might just need a professional counselor to help you, because who wants to live life just bitter? Some will even stay in the same house and sleep on the same bed, but they're bitter. It's not good for your health. I'm telling you, even your mental well-being, carrying that burden, that bitterness, and not wanting to let it go. You might just need help, to let go. So I don't know if you're there. I see people sending invites, but they're not coming up. I'm pressing the right button. Um, yeah, I don't know. The buttons are there. Thank you, Diva. Thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So, guys, while we wait for you lot to come up, my puzzle, were you here last week? I think, oh, you dropped off. Diva, you dropped off last.
Yes.
Yeah, so that question, nobody answered it, and that's why I brought it back today. So, my puzzle for today is, why did God create man before woman? It's very funny, but there's a reason why, and I really want, if you know the answer, please come up into the box. Let's hear from you. Why did God create man before woman? There's a reason why. Diva, you want to try? So that's our puzzle for today. If you get it, of course, I'll give you the donut and 2 ice cream for the evening. Otherwise, I'll tell us the answer, and that means I'll eat my donuts and have my ice cream by myself. Flo, I see you. Thanks for liking the live. Flo, I want to hear from you, please. What's your take on marriage counseling? Do you believe in marriage counseling, or is marriage counseling a taboo in your culture? Have you ever tried professional marriage counseling? Did it work? Did it not? Let's hear from you. Franklin, how are you? I see you. I don't know. I'm not pressing invitation sent. Okay. I've accepted 2 people, but I don't know. It's not coming. They're not coming up. So Onye, are you there today? Let's hear from you. What's your take about marriage counseling? I feel, especially for young couples, they might just need it because they have their journey ahead of them in life. And sometimes issues will not look at faces before it will come. It will come. So why did God create man before woman? Thank you, manager. But God created Adam and Eve first. So it's man and woman. So why did God create man, Adam, before woman? There's a reason.
Let me try before I go to sleep.
Okay, all right, please.
I think because God wanted someone who will take dominion over the rest of the creation. And that's why he had to start with man, because it's only man who would have taken dominion over the rest of the creation, including Eve.
So if I laugh, you have got it wrong. If I clap, you've got it right. So it's a laugh, so you got it wrong, my dear. Well done. Nice attempt. Nice attempt. Me, I'll clap for you for the attempt. But that's not the reason. So thank you so much. Why did God create man before woman? If you're out there, you know the answer. Come on, send an invite. I want to hear from you. Let's see if you're right today. So you get the donut and two ice cream, and that's it for the evening. So, guys, we've been talking about marriage counseling today. Like I said, all over the world, marriages are taking place in their numbers, and all over the world as well. People are getting divorced by their thousands as well. What is happening? Do people seek counseling, as in professional counseling? And is it a taboo in their culture? That's why they feel they can settle things amicably by themselves, but it's not just working. So they'll rather go their separate ways rather than seek professional help. I wouldn't know. In my culture, there's so many ways you can go about it. I'm a Christian. You can seek Christian couples therapy. I'm one by the ways. Maybe your church or whatever faith you belong in. Oh, bye, sis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Okay. Let's accept you. Thanks for coming. What's your take about this? Flo, can you speak? Graham, can you guys speak? I really want to hear from us today. Onye, how are you today?
I'm good. Good evening, and you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining. I don't know if you've heard much about the talk today and what's your take about it?
Okay, let me try why God created man first. I think both
Okay. About the talk today and what's your take?
created the same day, but created the same day, but there's a first. Yeah, both he were created the same. Yeah, both he were created the same day, created the same day, but there's a first. There's a first proclamation that God made. Proclamation that God made, and it says, "Let's make." And it says, "Let's make man in our own image."
Okay.
So I think upon that proclamation, that's why man came in first.
I said to Diva, if I laugh, you're wrong. If I clap, you're right. So you're wrong, but nice attempt. So I will clap for you. Thank you for the attempt. Thank you so much. So today I've been talking about marriage counseling, the advantages of it, some of disadvantages, if you can put it that way. All right, Purple Diva, thank you so much. Have a sweet sleep, like I said. God bless you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And that's been the topic for today. So I'm asking us now, do we believe in marriage counseling for those who are married? And also, is marriage counseling a taboo in your culture? And have you ever tried professional marriage counseling? Has it worked? Did it not work? How did you find it? So that's the questions we're trying to tackle today. Onye, I don't know if you have anything to say.
Originally,
Mm,
the best counseling we have in marriage
mhm.
originally is from our tradition, which is the father and the mother always counsel the both people, and
Okay.
the both parents will also do their own since they're about to get into marriage. So the woman parents will counsel the daughter. The
Okay.
mom also will do her own share to the child. The father will do same thing to the man as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and our first counseling we receive is from our parents. That's what they say. Education begins at home.
That's
So any child or any persons that really want to get into marriage
mm,
and decided to ignore their parent counseling and did not first hand seek a counseling from their parents,
mm,
there's no you not that you cannot get counseling outside. You can,
yeah.
but the very first person that you're supposed to receive counsel for, it
Mm,
should be your parents
okay.
in terms of marriage, because those are the first people you see practice
Mm,
marriage with you firsthand.
yeah.
Okay, Those are the people who practice marriage with first hand for you to see. So anything else that we want to view, our home is our first view to the world.
Yeah.
So any other view outside becomes the second view.
Mm.
It's a second view.
Yeah.
So any person who decide to ignore their parents without seeking all this counseling from his mom or her mom, from his dad or her dad, and they just went to one professional who went to go and study book because of the same thing that the person wants to tell you. He studied this thing from school, whatever I want to say to you. Yeah, that is theory. It's the same thing your parents also send you to school to go and learn.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So the real main practical that you see in marriage is from your parents. So those things that person is telling you that you consider to be cancer, they are not practical because you did not
Ah,
live.
have
Yeah,
you ever been to one before? How do you know?
this I say because of from my beginning I told you the first person you see that practice marriage is your parent.
Parents.
So
Yeah.
this is where you see it first. So that person you're taking counseling from, you did not practice first hand marriage seeing them. You did not. There's no practical you have done with that person, but you have done practical with your father, your mother in the house. You see how your mother sometimes reacts when your father did something wrong. You see sometimes how your own father reacts to your mother when something is wrong in the house. So this is a first-hand practical. So anything that you think you
But
want to go,
Onye, we're here to reason together. Some people did not have the luxury because their parents died when they were babies or children. So what happens in that case? And also some
there's
other similar cases like that.
there's no way a child will not grow with a person. A child doesn't grow on his own like
Oh,
a
definitely.
plantain. Exactly. So you grew up with somebody. So there are things you see.
Hmm.
I live with my mom's sisters, with their children, with their husbands. I live with them all. So I live like either 4 or 5 members of the family
Okay.
before I grew up. So there's so much things I see and I learn from them.
Hmm.
So if you say you lost your parents when you're very tender or no, there are people you live with. You see all love to learn. And there are books as well to read. So that counseling you say you want to receive for that person, I see sometimes it's just some people who are just lazy. It's just some people who are just lazy that they do not pay attention to see all these things. Because even that your neighbor, you can also see your neighbor being married, living their life, issues. You can also learn from all those things. You see how they react.
Yeah.
Even even before you get to the stage of getting married, one of your maybe your elder sister or elderly brother family, they have also get married. So they are very close people to you that you questions about marriage. Okay, there's practical, there's hand practical. You can ask them.
So in other
So
words, are you telling me that you don't believe in marriage counselors?
no, not that I don't believe in it, but what I'm saying, first hand practical about marriage, you will only get the results from your family. The real result that you want to talk about marriage counseling, you get it from your family first hand,
Okay.
practically.
Thank you for that
So
submission.
yeah, that's how.
I hear you and I see you. I bet some people are out there saying, "Oh, is it?" It's always good, really, because even the upbringing, all of those morals, values, it starts from where you grew up. And just like I said, some people don't have the privilege of growing up with their own biological parents, and sometimes some other people's some of us grew up in maybe uncles and with uncles and aunties, and you can't really say you see a loving home or the way they handle things well. Of course, it's the norm. On the day you're going, especially the traditional wedding for us in Africa, they will carry the girl to the room, pray with her, tell her, don't do this in your husband's house, so don't do that. You know, they tell you, they reiterate all the things they've been telling you over the years, which is beautiful. And they say the same thing to the man. The father would, they say they go and cook him well, if you understand the logic. And the father will say, you don't treat your wife this way, you don't do that, all those things. I appreciate all of that. But as they go on in marriage, issues would happen, issues of life would happen that it might just be too much for them to handle. So maybe no matter the talk they've had in the past, it might not just be sufficient to help them in that situation. If you understand what I'm saying on here.
I get you.
So at some point, rather than say, "Oh, I've had it, go your way, da da da, I don't want you anymore." Okay, let's go and seek a professional help to help us in this marriage. I never can tell because we don't know it, or you feel they. For me, I'll use myself as an example, and I know there's so many kinds of counselors out there. I have experience in terms of education. I have experience, like, I don't know if you heard me. This is my 25 years plus in marriage.
Wow, well
Know
done.
how that I will not bring from my own wealth of experience as well. So I will not say, well, all the talks that I had from my parents, maybe before going into marriage, is what is still sustaining me now. Mbano. It is not. And we've had issues that left our jaws open. So some may seek pastoral counsel, some may actually sit each other down and counsel each other. But most times we know that is I don't know how effective really that is, but I want to believe some couples out there have tried it and it worked. They said, you know what, enough of this bickering. Okay, let's sit down, let's talk about this issue before it will destroy us. And they've been able to come together, even pray together about things, and we're able to resolve it. It happens that way as well. But the essence of this talk today is when things are so overwhelming, so challenging, that you just feel you should run out or whatever. Like I said, I'm not talking about DV, domestic violence or abuse. That's a different thing altogether. Why not say, you know what, let's seek a professional. Let's seek their help. Maybe they might be able to help us resolve this. Because sometimes some people say, I don't want my father in this matter. I don't want your mother. Your mother is always siding you. You know, all those family collaboration that spouses don't like. So why not go to a professional who does not know you, doesn't know your father, your mother, but is there solely to help you work things out effectively? If you get me.
Okay, do you drive?
Yeah.
Good. Now, if you see in all the courses we go and we learn,
Mm.
is only driving. They don't issue anything like professional as a certificate.
Oh, that's your driver's license.
No,
Yeah, you get your
they,
certificates. Yeah.
that was just I just a professional. And even that driving license, they did not write professional in Abi. But there are some calls that will say this one is a professor, Abi.
Yeah.
This one is a master, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm listening.
This one is a PhD, isn't it? This one is a
Mm-hmm.
BSc. Good. Now in driving, there's no such category. They just give you license to license. Is it license to drive?
Yeah.
And then the rules on the road, they say you drive what you see,
Mm.
isn't it? Good.
Yeah.
So driving is a plain book of shit, just like marriage. Now, when you are driving, though there are rules in driving, like
Oh.
speed limits, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and those are just the simple normal principle. Yeah,
Thank you
there's a
so much.
speed limit in the driving, and then as you're going, there are some signs will say these are sharp corners. Slow down now. Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Now, but some people still also ignore those simple rules.
Yes,
As
definitely.
soon as they beat the traffic light or as soon as they beat the speed camera, they hit on the gas and they accelerate again. Isn't it? Now,
Mm-hmm.
let's come to now relationship. I want to do the two example. Now they
Okay.
give you certificate of marriage, isn't it? After you marry,
Yeah.
the new Gen Z generation, they now give marriage certificate. But
Mm-hmm.
in tradition, they don't give certificate, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is no certificate to it. So the reason why there is no certificate to it in a tradition way, because it's a plain open sheet. Yeah, it's a strictly way of life.
Yeah.
That is marriage. It's a strictly way of life. The way you see things, you have to access it,
Mm.
then you begin to continue. Now, if you go to sometimes counseling, they will
Yeah.
give you one pattern upon one pattern. Most of the time, that's what's going on in counseling. They always have one pattern on how they teach people. But in marriage, it's not that. That thing that is causing problem in Suzanne and John, it might not be what is causing problem with Rosemary and Kevin.
Oh, definitely.
Good. So it's total different ballgame. So what I'm trying to say, not that it's not good though to seek counsel, it's knowledge. I don't disqualify anything that is profitable to
Oh,
knowledge. I
thank
don't
you for
disqualify.
saying that at least.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't disqualify. Now, the person who you are meeting to go and counsel now, the person you are going and meeting for counseling, you do not even know if that person is whether it is successful in his own marriage. And I tell you, the way education is, because we have also go through the school, we see that there are some teachers they are so biased when they're teaching in the classroom. Did you know that?
Yeah.
There are some teachers they are even biased in the classroom when they're doing the teaching. Much more alone, someone who is going to go for marriage counseling. And we have seen in time in this life when we see a marriage counselor even get envy of the woman that is about to counsel and I have something now doing with the husband at the back. We've seen that in life.
Only,
Okay?
only, let me
Now,
ask you. In fact, there's so many things you're
now,
saying that,
yeah. So
like I
now,
said, I mean, it's your submission. I
yeah.
no doubt
No,
about it. But we're here to
no.
rub minds,
We are rubbing
okay?
mine now. Just a rub mine now. In my submission, yeah, in my submission, the person that will give you the honest counseling about marriage, yeah, is still a family member that will give you the honest counseling in marriage. Is a family member who has been there. But you can still get knowledge from outside. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. But it's a family member that will give you the real honest counseling about
I was
marriage.
trying to understand your analogy of driving. You know, when you go to do those tests and what have you, it's one person. We're talking about two people now, so I'm not sure about
No,
that
it's
analogy.
not one. It's sometimes it's get because the first time you will do your theory. You will start on your own in the computer
Yeah, but
in
that's
London. Yeah,
you. But now
yeah,
we're
that's you
talking about
first.
two
Then
lives
the other two
together.
life now. The second one now will not involve you and the instructor. Okay. Then after you move from you and the instructor, it will now move with you and you were the examiner who will now
Okay,
actually pass you.
okay. If I use that your analogy, my understanding is
Yeah.
because the driver is still the driver, the instructor is the counselor. If you understand,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we get it.
And then this instructor may not even have a car, and they're teaching you how to drive, or
No,
they're testing you.
instructor always have a car because that's the car he used to teach you.
Ah, not
Yeah.
always, my dear brother,
So how would they teach you without car?
because it belongs to the school. The
Yeah,
school.
yeah. The school will give the driver the car. The driver has to take the car from the school
You know,
and then put you on the side.
what I'm trying to say here,
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, but it's just that analogy with it. For the fact that someone has gone to school to be a professional at their job, it doesn't matter that they don't have the number of years of experience to go with it.
Yeah,
You
we.
understand? So it's like, how do I put it? Based on your analogy, that's what I'm trying to think this way.
There's nothing professional. That's what I say. There's nothing like go and meet a professional counselor in marriage. That's what I'm trying to underline. There's nothing like such.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
there's nothing like such. Say perfect because marriage, before even the person that will beat hand say yes, I succeeded in the marriage. It is when that particular word from the Bible has been applied. Till death do them apart. Okay, till death do them apart. Before that person can come and boldly say yes, I succeed in till
Wow.
death do them apart. Before you can say yes, I succeed in marriage and I go with the tradition of the Christianity till death do us apart. Before we say yes, I succeed in marriage because this is what the scripture says, death will separate us in
Okay.
marriage. So I succeed.
Okay,
So some
thank
of these
you
counselor, they never even succeed them. But there's nothing wrong with
for you because of your submission. However, let me paint a scenario to you. And I know other people in the box. Thank you so much for joining. You're welcome. Please let me and Oye kind of reason here together. So a woman and a man gets married, yeah? They've told them, don't do this in your husband's house, don't do da 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 da. Just 2 years into that marriage, one of the spouse dies. So she's a qualified counselor, marriage counselor. That's what you're saying. Onye?
Yeah, you see, that's why I say qualified counselor to marriage. There's not like qualified to that one. Yeah, is like is it that journey is like this journey that say salvation is personal. That's how I see it. That is the journey I see to be. Salvation is that's how I see marriage because of at the end of the day, we have seen many of them like this who still do for the same victim or for they are trying to teach the next person. So that's how I guess. So when I study everything, the best person are enough for them to your real family member that who can tell you about the things, the advantage, the pros and cons. He will tell you carefully. But although some of other people do, they are doing it for money. Okay, it's their job. So and once we come to doing our job, we can sugarcoat a whole lot of things in our job, just to keep the job. Okay, just to keep the job, we can sugarcoat a whole lot of stuff.
So can I ask you the second question? Is marriage counseling a taboo in your culture?
No, it's not a taboo. Like I said it's a knowledge. Anything that is profitable to knowledge, I would say go for it. If you think it's knowledge. No knowledge is waste.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
what I
your
say there.
submission. I'm still thinking on what those things because everybody's coming from a background which I quite understand. Mrs. Williams, thank you so much for joining. I don't know if you have anything to chip in. We've been talking about marriage counseling. I've talked about the advantages of it and the role of the counselor in that session, in the counseling session for people who are considering it, what they would expect from the counselor. And also had to go there to balance things about the disadvantages of, marriage counseling. It will cost you money, time, you have to be committed and all of that. And it may not even guarantee success at the end of the day, all of those kind of things. So my question to people is, do they believe in marriage counseling? And then is marriage counseling a taboo in their culture? And have you ever tried professional marriage counseling? Did it work? Did it not work? So whichever one you want to pick and talk about, please let's hear you. And good evening to you. Mrs. Williams, I'm waiting. I don't know if you're aware you can speak. Maybe you can type so that I can go on to my next guest, Bukola Blessed. Let's see. Okay, let me see. There are quite a number. Let's invite you guys up and see. I want to hear from us today. It's getting interesting. Really, really interesting. Mrs. Williams, can you speak? Okay, I'm not sure if you can. Okay, thank you so much. So, Bukola, blessed, you're welcome to Inside with Fumi. And I'm sure you've heard our banter with one another. I don't know what your take is on this topic. Thank you so much for joining in today.
Oh, God bless you, sis. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Well done, sis. You know what? I'm here to glean from you and your ministry. I'm not married. So, the Bible says regarding marriage counseling, I would look at the Bible aspect, which says, in a multitude of counselors, there is safety.
Okay.
So I would understand that, if a couple are married and they come through difficulties, counseling would be a good, safe, to get guidance, So I thank God for your ministry because, come on, I'm here to learn.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for that submission. Truly, I mean, we're here to learn from one another, really. We'll talk about things. Yeah, send an invite because I really want to hear from people, okay? Marriage counseling, do you believe it? Do you think it's a taboo in your culture? What does it say? Have you tried it? Did it work? And one of the things, like I said earlier, about the disadvantages, it doesn't always guarantee success even, because if the couples are not putting the work in, there won't be any result at all. So this can still break up the marriage, even if they go for 10 sessions or 100 sessions, if they're not willing to do what it takes or to make that marriage be okay. the purpose will be defeated, and it will be like they've just wasted all the time and effort and money and what have you. But some people believe in it. Some feel it's not for them. Some may say maybe it's a taboo in their culture. I don't know. I really want us to share with one another tonight. So Flo, you're welcome. How are you?
Well, thank you very much. I'm okay. I'm doing well. Sorry. You sent me a request earlier. I wasn't in a good place, so I couldn't
Oh, all right.
accept.
Thank you. Thank you so much for still coming anyways. So I don't know what your take is on the talk tonight.
My take is that marriage counselors are great. In fact, it's a good thing to have in terms of culture. I know culturally those days when marriages have issues,
Yeah.
we have like groups of people then that will normally, intercede. For example, I know Umuadas in the Igbo culture would normally intercede. Sometimes when there are issues are taken to them and they will come together and then listen to both parties and then try and mediate. So marriage counselors are mediators. And and the good thing about counselors is that they are independent, so they are not related to both
Neither
parties.
of you, yeah.
Yeah, they're not related to both parties, so they will have a good, a reasonable, and they are qualified. They are specialists and qualified to handle cases when it comes to marriage, handle marriage issues.
Yeah.
And then I don't see why people should not be comfortable going to marriage counselors, because they will have an independent you know view of whatever the issue is, and will help mediate between the couples that are having the issues. So this shouldn't even be something people should shy away from.
Mm.
And like I also say to people, there are a lot of for us, when we are sick, we go to the hospital. When
Yeah.
our cars have issues, they go to we take them to the garage, or what we call the mechanic. In fact, so we take them to the garage. If so we have different ways of solving different issues, but a lot of us don't pay particular attention to marriage.
Mm.
We should pay particular attention to marriage. We should make it an effort to go for um, retreats, marriage retreats, couple retreats.
That's true.
If there are issues that we think cannot handle, we shouldn't shy away from going to counselors
Oh,
to
get the
mediate for
help.
us.
Yeah.
So our marriages need to be healthy,
Mm-hmm.
because we have, there are two people involved and they are learning as they are going,
Yeah.
because initially when you
Don't know
start,
it all. Yeah.
so you don't know it all, so you need to kind of go for retreats, hear from people's experiences. You'll see, you find out that not too sometimes you think you have the worst situation, others have situations that are even worse than yours,
When you hear other
or
people's
you
story,
tend
you
to
will
also learn
bow.
from other people on how they're able to manage such situations when they have them. And so we shouldn't shy away from this. This is really my little opinion, my
Thank
humble
you.
opinion.
Thank you so much. I love that submission that when you're sick, you go to the hospital. When your car is faulty, you take it somewhere to be fixed. So why can't you do that with your marriage when it's out of your hands? You don't know what to do. And like I said, I've been in marriage now for 25 odd years, and there are seasons that comes and goes like that. Sometimes a season will come again. I'm like, we've been here before. You remember so year we face the same thing. And one thing I said earlier is couples should learn to fight the challenge together, not fight each other. But we know, and one thing I said earlier is couples should learn to fight the challenge together, not fight each other. But we know, why not get help? I mean, your car is not more important than your marriage, is it? I don't know, Flo, if I'm making sense. Your car is faulty. It won't take you anywhere. you think to go and fix it. This marriage is getting on the rocks, and it seems like it's not getting any better. Why not get help as well? And this is what will even outlive your car. It will outlive that career, because when you're 60 something, they will retire you. Okay, what next? Your spouse, you're still coming back home to meet that spouse. So why not work it out so that you can enjoy, especially old age in marriage? Why not? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see who else is there. Well, I want to hear from us really, because it is getting more interesting, our different perspective. And like I said, there's something called pastoral counseling. Some people may feel, all pastor will say, yeah, yeah, hold on, let's just pray. Let's pray and go home. They might not be able to tackle with things. And that's why you have professional counselors. They will go deep. They will bring techniques apart from the Bible instructions and what have you, that we may sometimes even forget. Love is patient, love is kind, and yet we're hurting that next person we're supposed to be loving. So, what happened? Why is it that the word of God is not even enough? Because we have Christian homes that are breaking up, Christian couples that are divorcing. So is it that the word of God, even that is available, is not enough? Why is that as well? So when you now decide to seek professional help, there's nothing like fed to be ashamed about. This is your life we're talking about. This is your future and that of your children we're talking about. So you can't just ignore it and you think things will just happen like that. If he needs help, get help. Don't be ashamed, especially for a man, because the society will paint a different picture. Thank you so much, Happy. Thank you. The society might say, oh, a man should not talk about his feelings or emotion, but the man is hurting. Where would he offload if not in that space with a counselor? He might not be able to do that with his friends. They might tease him, they might mock him, they might, when they have their gatherings, I've watched so many films, the man will come and say, hey, look at it, the one that the wife is dealing with. All sorts. But when you go to a professional, like Flo said, they don't know you, they don't know your wife. They're just here to help you resolve whatever conflict, whatever the issue is. Oh, thank you so much, Flo. Thank you. So don't be ashamed if you have to, please. Don't be ashamed. You're welcome, Hafiz. How are you today?
So, so someone want to say something.
Yeah, I was greeting you, Hafiz. How are you? Are you with us? Hafiz? I'm sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm not sure he's hearing me. Hafiz, can you hear me? No, okay. So maybe if you want to drop and come back in, I would bring you back up. But if you can hear me, I really want to hear your views about this topic today. We're talking about marriage counseling. Do you believe in it, or does the culture frowns at it? What is your take about it? Have you experienced it before? Was it a good thing? Did it help your marriage if you're in a marriage relationship? Oh, you're from Indonesia. Oh, I don't know if I can interpret. If you have anything to say, you can just type it. Let's see whether we'll be able to get it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hafiz, for joining. It's amazing because if you say you don't want people to laugh at you because you're going for counseling, but people will laugh at you when that marriage breaks up. They will laugh, and that's just the truth. They will laugh. But when you're trying to get the help, that's help. You're trying to help your marriage so that it doesn't break up. There is nothing to be ashamed about. Don't, in fact, if your friends are teasing, then keep yourself away from them because they're supposed to be there to even encourage you. Oh, if you're considering counseling, I feel it's a good thing. Go for it because they know what you're going through in that marriage. They know what your spouse is going through. Something is just not cutting it. Both of you can't seem to get it right this time around. It's quite overwhelming and it's building up this anger and resentment between you and your spouse. Why not get help for it? Why not? Why not get help so that that relationship can be stronger again? Sometimes they don't see eye to eye. Husband and wife, they don't see eye to eye all the time. If somebody's telling you it's a lie, I've had cases where someone say, I've never argued with my wife. I've never quarreled with my wife. I'm like, I don't understand. And they'll tell you they've been married for 20 something odd years and not for one day. I don't believe that. I don't know how true that is. I mean, for one day you don't have disagreement. It's bound to happen. Oh, thank you so much, Hafiz, for liking the live. So there's nothing to shy away from. Whether you're a man, you can initiate it. Whether you're a woman, you can initiate it. But all in all, it takes two to tango. If it's one-sided, I don't know how effective it's gonna be. And like I said, when I was talking about the role of the counselor, the counselors will see the couple at the same time. But sometimes when the counselor is not getting a headway, maybe everybody just want to put theirs in, the counselor may have to be wise to say, you know what, I'll see the wife now and I'll see the husband later. Sometimes they might have to split you up just to be able to help you adequately. And eventually you still come back together in that same space and talk about things. Because most times is when we stop understanding each other. That's why this conflict kind of look bigger than it is. But we need to, over time, my people will say something like, see finish. We take each other for granted, and that's just the truth. We just feel, oh, we don't need to say this to them. We just do and do. And your spouse is wondering, why is it that you stop carrying me along? Why are you taking decisions for us? Why are you doing this? And then it becomes an issue. And then the other spouse is feeling, after all, what I've been doing is helping us. There's not be any negativity or whatever outcome. And they're like, no, that is not the point. You need to carry each other along. And the most difficult is when the other spouse does not even see anything wrong in what they're doing. So it might just take that third party to help you highlight these things, to help you self reflect. How you're treating your spouse is not the ideal way, and that's why you're having issues. A counselor's role is it doesn't, in fact, I don't know how to put it. They're just there to help you make sure that things go smoothly, that you can understand and love each other again like you used to once upon a time. Like I said, challenges of life will come. We cannot escape that. But are we facing that challenge together or we're facing each other? There's a lot of things that can come in a relationship with financial, it could be trust, infidelity, it could be family even. Yo, thanks for joining, Master Abinat. I see you. Could be a million and one reasons, and that's why you have different professionals or counselors who are even specialized in certain areas. You can go for professionals, I mean, counselors who deal with maybe trauma in a relationship, those who deal with that infidelity, those who deal with loss or transition. There's so many out there. If you want to specify, whatever that challenge is that seems to be breaking that marriage up, look for the right professional to help you. I mean, my car can be faulty now, and I'm ringing my GP, my general, my doctor to say, Doctor, my car, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm calling the wrong person. So even within counseling professionals, you still have specific needs that they attend to, specialties, if I can put it that way. So there's always help available. Whether we take advantage of that is a different thing altogether. Imam Boym, I see you. Thanks for joining. Let's tap on our screen. Let's like the live this evening. I don't know if you have any submissions again. Oni, I see you're back. So I don't know if you still have anything to add to it today, or if anyone still want to attempt my puzzle. I have my puzzle for today. Nobody's getting it. I will have to tell us the answer before I go today, because last week nobody got it. So today I've asked us. It's a funny one. Why did God create man before woman? There's a reason why. If you know the reason why, come up and tell me or tell us, and I'll give you a donut and two ice cream to relax for the evening. Onye tried, he really tried, but he didn't get it. Um, Bukola Blessed, I don't know, did you attempt it, the puzzle? Buki, are you still there? Bukola, did you attempt the puzzle today? Okay, I'm not sure she's still there. Flo, I don't know if you want to try my puzzle today. The question is, why did God create man before woman? Why did God create man before? Oh, thank you so much for liking it, guys. Why did God create man before woman? There's a reason. If you know it, let's hear you.
You see, in those. No, I'm attempting the pose. I've tried, so you say I didn't get it.
No,
So
it's all
you
right.
see, you see, like I said, having a counseling is nothing wrong, but who is going for the counseling? Is it the woman? Because there was one video I
No,
watched
the two
recently.
of them, the
Yeah,
two of them.
there's one video I watched recently,
Okay.
and then the pastor said, the priest says, for better and for worse, the lady struggle. Till death do us apart, the lady struggle to reply. Okay,
Oh, with the
and
words.
yeah, with the word when they say for better and they say for better, for worse, she struggle to blow her the word. Till, and then when you get to be submissive, and then she just went pause.
I think this is a comedy now.
You see, if no, not comedy. I watched a few days ago on Facebook. They posted the video, and then the lady paused, and then the person yes, and the woman replied that we didn't talk about this one in the counseling, and then the priest said no, we discussed all these things were in the counseling. So be submissive, and then the lady still did not say the word to be submissive.
She couldn't
Okay,
say the word.
yeah, she couldn't say the word right on the wedding day. So now here comes the problem. You see, marriage was easier, yeah, in the days of our forefathers and there because the women they are willing, yeah, to listen to their men. They are willing to listen to their men. So that I see marriage work back in the days. Now this new Gen Z,
Some of
they,
it.
they are not they are not willing to listen. And then they are fighting for feminism. And then when you try to discuss about the feminism with them, they say, no, it's at work, it's at work. Fine, it is at work. But the man who you're controlling at work, you started seeing the man as your husband in the house.
No.
So slowly, slowly, we've seen a lot of these women dragging their feminism from work side, they're dragging it into marriage. It started creating problem.
You see? And you don't
It
think this
started
person needs counseling to get their
now,
head right.
now you see the best counseling in life, yeah, I tell you, is the one you look with your own eyes, yeah. You look at it with your own eyes, and then you understand what you look. Is the best counseling. The other one, you're waiting for someone to tell you that you did something wrong, and you could not identify that what you did is wrong. That means they're trying to convince you that this thing is wrong. So this is the right one. A lot of the time, these are the new generation we are seeing now. We are trying to convince them. If you do the mathematics for them, say it goes like this, they can't even see that this thing is right or wrong. So these days now, we are trying to convince our children to do what is right. It's convincing now. We are doing now. The same thing to some of these marriage we see. We're trying to convince them now. And then we try to tell a woman, say, submissive to your husband. What do you mean by submissive? How do I submissive? So on their own, they cannot even understand the word. They cannot even study the thing by themselves to get it. So a person that could not understand the thing on his own, it will be difficult. It
Yeah.
will be difficult. So that is to say, some too, they will still go counseling after they have seen first-hand practice of marriage from their father. They have seen from their father neighbors. They have seen from the father brother. They have seen from the mother sisters. They have seen different angles of people who have practiced marriage before their eyes from the family. And then you still went ahead to school. You still study in school. You still see some movies and some news and other things. There's so much a person has seen before he gets to 30 years old to say, I want to get married. You have seen a lot. So
You've
it
seen
is
a
not time.
lot, but
You have seen a lot.
you haven't
It
seen
is
it all.
it is not time to, no, I didn't say how I say you have seen a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
It is not time to practice. Nobody will actually see everything in life before he dies. He can't see everything. It's just the one around you you're going to see. So we have seen a lot for we to put into practice by the time we kickstart on our own. And then still, they will still go for counseling.
Yeah.
They will still go for counseling and still come back. It will still fail. So that's to tell you, we the humans, some of us have this problem struggling to absorb. We are struggling to absorb.
So one of the things I appreciate what you have just said. Thank you so much. You and I know is prevalent in the society now. You cannot compare marriages of the old to what we have today. In fact, I used to say to some people, it may sound selfish, I don't envy single people of today because the norms have changed, values have changed. Now you find out that it's like everybody tends to be, if you don't have money, I can't date you kind of mentality. There's a whole lot of things have gone wrong, and it doesn't mean they don't have parents who could be good examples of how marriage should be, you know. So they've just come up, this is the lifestyle now, so to say. And we can see that these days, the way we hold, or the way our parents, or well, maybe the way marriage was held back in the day with so much value, virtue, so much importance, I don't know, it's like over the time, it's kind of diminished in a way, because no matter what, I mean, you would have courted this person, like in the present day, you would have courted for a number of years or months or what have you, and then coming together, and then you're married in less than 1 or 2 years, you feel, oh, you can't hack it anymore, you just want to go your separate ways. Where is the value in working it out? So the level of tolerance is gone, is diminished. The level of understanding, of course, is diminished. The level of love even is diminished, because you find before it used to be unconditional love. Now the love of today, how genuine is it? Is attached to money, is attached to wealth, is attached to something, you know. An educated girl is looking for a guy that's also educated, that's got money more than her or something. Or you see some girls, they're like, I'm educated, I've got my money, whoever is going to come to be my husband has to be of this standard, of that, you know. There's such a lot. I said, what happened to the days of we falling in love genuinely and come together and let's build together? And you don't know the future of each other, things will still get better. But today, I don't think that if you tell someone, let's come together and marry, we will build together, say, you this poor man, you this poor woman, kind of a thing. So that's why I'm saying that a lot of those things, I don't know if it's the times we found ourselves that has made that diminish. And then there is still help available, because sometimes when there's some things you can't even take to your parents, you may feel embarrassed, and that's why you can go to a counselor, because you don't know them from Adam. You'll be able to use that space to offload whatever you can't tell your mom or dad or auntie or uncle. That's why you have this space with a professional to offload those things. They're not going to come the next day and knock on your door and say, last year you told me this about your husband. No, because once you're done with the therapist, you may never cross path again. You've gone. But your family members that you've poured all those secret things to, all your concerns to, they will always be there, except, you know, old age or what have you. So that alone brings shame. They don't want this, in the moment of weakness, when I felt I couldn't handle it, I've said this to this person. Now you probably be avoiding them in their family members, because now you've resolved things with your spouse, and you still see them, they're still looking at you because of the things you've told them. The shame, you may be feeling it, but you can't feel that with a professional, because you've gone your ways. Everybody's gone their ways. You've taken on board what they've told you in counseling, or what they've helped you to identify. Go work on it. So everything has dynamics to it. So in order not to be feeling guilty or ashamed all the time with your relatives, your family members, go seek a professional. Go seek a professional. And once you're done with them, that's it. No matter, even if it's 10 sessions, 20 sessions, whatever, they're not coming home with you. They
Yep.
are not coming home with you. The most that can happen is maybe you go to a party, you bump into them, but it won't be like your mom or your dad. They will always be around, if you get me. Temin, thanks for joining. And I'm also mindful of time because this kind of topics, we can go on and on and on. And as more people join, everybody would have a different perspective. But in it all, we are not perfect. We are not perfect. The moment you say I do to your spouse, you go together, start building that home. You're going to be growing with each other. And you don't know how your spouse will grow tomorrow. Maybe the things you value together at that time, in 5 years' time, your values, you're growing apart. And then it might create chaos. It might not. A lot of things can happen which you don't have the knowledge for. And then some people, like I said, they're ashamed to go to the relatives to come and intervene. Get a professional help. That is the bottom line of the talk today. Don't be ashamed. It's help you're getting. Don't be ashamed and get the right help so that you can help build that home again. Divorce for me is not an option. We have to get it right. One of my pastors will say we only have one life to live and we have to get it right. Onia, please say one final thing before I round up tonight. And thank you to everyone that has gifted, that have liked, that have shared. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate you. So Onia, final from you.
Okay, fine. You see, when you're talking now, you mentioned about, I think you touched a bit of finance, that the girl is looking for the man that have the money, blah, blah, the man that have education per year. That thing you make sure it has been the same in the hold. Yeah, it has been there. Now, if you look
Oh,
carefully, the
really?
reason why it's still there. Now, I want to say it to you now. The reason why those men in those
It's
days,
gone worse now.
the reason why in those days those men practice what's the name again?
Thank
Is
you.
it not
Polygamy.
polygamy? You realize that it's those men that
Yeah.
have money, yeah, that practice polygamy, yeah, and then the
Nah.
richest of
Have
those
you not
men,
watched those movies?
which one?
Yeah.
Let me finish. You see, and those men in those days, they have plenty wife. Their the wife is counted among part of their riches. Okay, it's been counted as part of their riches. And those men that practice polygamy, they do it because of money. Because of money. The man will have 2, 3 farm or 5 farm, and we give each farm each to all this wife. And when they go for adverts, they adverts more to the market to sell. It's all about making money for them. And any man that have 2, 3 wife at that time, they see that man as a rich man at that time, rich man. And then in those days,
I really
before,
need to know which culture,
yeah, no,
which culture
anybody
you're
that practice,
talking from. But
anybody that
because
practice,
of time,
yeah.
yeah.
So it has been there. It's been done because of money making then. And then if you still go back again, before the woman will allow that girl, that her daughter to marry to that family, that mother will go and do background check of that family to see if the family they are wealthy, if they are well to do. They will go and do all those background and they will say, yes, go to that family. That family has money. Go there and marry. So when it comes to stability in marriage, it has been there right from time up till this day. A woman always look for a man that is stable, everything. It's still there. Okay? So just to touch that bit of the finance,
Well,
it's
God
still
will have
there.
to. God will have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
Thank
there.
you so
Right?
much. God will have to help us. Yeah.
So
I
the problem
get
we
you.
have now,
Thank you so
we
much
are
for that.
just yeah. So we are just too over demanding right present day now. Present day Jay Z, they're just too over demanding,
Yeah.
selfish.
Onye, Onye, thank you so much for your submission. I'm mindful of the time. We're 2 minutes or 3 minutes past the time. Thank you so much, and for your submission. I really appreciate that. It takes I love it when men come to contribute in marriage talks. Really balances things. So thank you so much for everyone that has joined in. And before I go, I would like to tell us the puzzle because nobody got it today. Thank you so much. Bukola Bless, thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate. Mrs. Williams, thank you so much, love. Thank you so much, Flo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So for my puzzle, I asked, why did God create man before woman? And the answer is because he didn't want any advice on how to make the man. You know, we women, we give advice a lot. God did not want any advice, so he had to quickly make the man before making the woman. So thank you. Joining me today. Thank you. Just Boki Sanjay, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone, and I hope you've been able to pick something from the talk today. And I'll leave you with this: getting professional help in your marriage should not be a shameful thing. We get help when we're sick. We go to the doctors when we're sick. When our cars are faulty, we go to the mechanic. When whatever it is, you always have professional helps out there. So please take advantage of that so that you can build your home yet again. And I pray that every marriage out there going through one challenge or the other, that the Lord will help you through it in the name of Jesus. No more divorce. We don't want any more divorces. Let us work together to build our homes together. Until I come your way again on Monday, we'll be talking about general talks and seeing strategies of dealing with it. I remain yours truthfully, FunmiRoyal, and I'll see you on Monday, 6 p.m. UK time. Please don't forget, I love to see you again. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Mrs. Williams, thank you, Onye. Thank you, Flo. Thanks for joining. I'll see you soon.